Today, we categorized every single team by age group to see which age group is the best age. We went in order from Philly all the way, making our way down to the age group. We have the 1976ers full of 19 overalls. As you can see, Stephon Castle, Alex Sarr, Zachary Sachet, Carl Carrington, and etc. down the list. One thing to take into notice is that the ages were at the start of the season. So let's say if Stephon Castle's birthday was, let's just say October 23rd, and he manages to make his way up to 20 years old, it doesn't matter. If you start your year as a 19-year-old, you are on the 19-year-old team. So this is the team over here for the 19-year-olds. 20, we have the Bucks with Victor Wembanyama, Jalen Duren, Derek Lively, Keontae George, Kello Ware, Jared McCain. They had a little bit more time to progress, obviously, because most of them had been here for 1 to 3 years. 21, we have the Chicago Bulls. They're developing a little more. We have Paulo Banchero, Amen Thompson, Dyson Daniels, Asar Thompson, Brandon Miller, Shaedon Sharp, and etc. 22, we have the 22 Cavaliers with Chet, Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, Mark Williams, and etc. down the list over here. 23 Celtics, we have Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Jalen Williams, Franz Wagner, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey, Denny Advia, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs. This team is insanely good. Their worst 23-year-old is an 83 overall Christian Brown, and then Tari Eason, Walker Kessler, Double O, and etc. down the list over here. This is one of the better teams out there. Only thing that they're really missing is a big man, but I mean, like, you still have Double O. Like, it doesn't have to be a 90 overall big man for you to compete. This team is still very good. 24 Clippers, we have Tyrese Halliburton, Zion Williamson, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Kobe White, Quentin Grimes, Trey Murphy. This one also was very deep, with your worst 24-year-old being Trey Jones. Also, I'm not sure if we checked the other teams here, but your worst 22-year-old is Ryan Hollins, your worst 21-year-old is Jarris Walker, your worst 20-year-old is Keyshawn George, and your worst 19-year-old is Cam Christie. You may be wondering what happened to the other 24-year-olds. Well, you'll see later on, but as of now, for each team, we took the best available 24-year-olds or 25-year-olds for the team. 25 Grizzlies, we have Luka, John Morant, Triple J, Colin Sexton. The fall off after Triple J is kind of crazy. You have Jordan Poole, Emmanuel Quickley, Anthony Simons, Naz Reid, Lou Dort, Nicholas Claxton, and then making your way down the list, your worst 25-year-old is Wendell Carter Jr. 26 Hawks, we have Shea, Tatum, and Trae Young, a nice big three of 26-year-olds. Then we have Austin Reeves with a support off the bench, Jared Allen, De'Aaron Fox, Desmond Bane, Isaiah Hartenstein, Daniel Gafford, and then down the list, your worst 26-year-old is DeAndre Hunter. When I'm showing your worst player per age, it's not to like take a diss at him. I'm just showing you how deep this age group is. Like, if DeAndre Hunter is your worst 26-year-old, that is a very good age group. 27 Heat, we have Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker, who is 27, and he has been in the league for a minute now. You're going to see later on in the list, like 28, 29. There have been players that have been drafted way after him, but Devin Booker has been in the league for way more seasons than them. But yeah, 27 Heat, Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker, like we said, Bam Adebayo, Zubac, Jamal Murray, OG, Brandon Ingram, John Collins, Laurie, Ty Jerome, and then down the list, your worst 27-year-old is Drew Eubanks. Just for reference, Devin Booker has been in the league for 9 years. He got drafted in 2015-2016 season. 28 Hornets, you have Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Domantas Sabonis, Mikal Bridges, DeJounte Murray. Cam Johnson is one of the players I was like, damn, because he also got drafted by Phoenix. He's only been in the league for 5 years, and he's 28. He's 1 year older than Devin Booker and has played 4 less seasons. Anyways, you got Miles Turner, Dylan Brooks, Kelly Oubre, and then down the list, your worst 28-year-old is Sam Morrell. We get to see the depth is kind of like decreasing a little bit. 29 Jazz. Now, if you're a Jazz fan, this is your video, man. You have Jokic, you have Jokic, you have Giannis, Kristaps, Zach LaVine, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, AG, Jakob Poeltl, Bobby Portis, Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Kuzma. The list goes on and on. Your worst 29-year-old is Grayson Allen. And honestly, if it was just a team with these three or even these two alone, you're happy with that. These two alone can carry you to the championship. We've seen it happen before. 30 Kings. We have Joel Embiid, Derek White, Siakam, Karis LeVert, Caruso, Clint Capella, and we can start seeing the older you get, the less depth you are starting to have, naturally, because players are starting to regress. It's only really the top of the top that really are still in the prime past 30. And your worst 30-year-old is Terry Rozier at a 76 overall. 31 Knicks. You have AD, Norman Powell, Bradley Beal, and then pretty much about it. It gets worse and worse. Chris Boucher just have a bunch of good role players. Gary Payton, Malcolm Brogdon, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Schroeder, Drummond, Steven Adams, etc. And your worst 31-year-old is Kyle Anderson at a 77 overall. 32 Lakers. You have Kyrie Irving, and honestly, if it wasn't for Kyrie, this team would be one of the worst teams. We have Rudy Gobert, Jonas Valanciunas, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jordan Jordan Clarkson, etc. down the list. Your worst 32-year-old is Doug McDermott at a 72 overall. 33 Magic, Kawhi Leonard, Vucevic, CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Kelly Olynyk, Alec Burks, Torrey Craig, Corey Joseph, Dwight Powell, Tristan Thompson, and then pretty much about it. This is what happened with the rest of the players that couldn't make the cut for their age group. We just put them on a random team and then just gave them a 40 overall. 40 years old, F everything, like they cannot do anything. 34 Mavericks, Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, Draymond Green, PG, Klay Thompson, Mason Plumlee, Seth Curry, Jay Crowder, and that is it. 35 Nets, you have James Harden, Jimmy Butler, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, Nicholas Batum, and Markieff Morris. Now, as you guys can see over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-man rotation. To make this fair, to ultimately see which age group is the best, player fatigue is off, player progression is off, all those team chemistry stuff are off, and because that is off, we will make it a 7-man rotation for the Brooklyn Nets. So you're not having like Noah Clowney start and get like 20 minutes because that would not be fair for the 35-year-old group. 36 Nuggets, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Brook Lopez, DJ, Kevin Love, and Patty Mills. You guys could see, imagine running a 9-man rotation with this group here. They wouldn't even make the playoffs. 37 Pacers, 3-man rotation. We have no choice but to make it a 5-man rotation. Mike Conley, Joe Ingles, James Johnson, pretty much about it. 38 Pelicans, Al Horford, Kyle Lowry, Jeff Green, Garrett Temple. Again, another 5-man rotation. And then the 39 Pistons, you have LeBron James, Chris Paul, Taj Gibson, and PJ Tucker. Surprisingly, more 39-year-olds than what, 37? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then to spice things up, we made an extra team, the Toronto Raptors. This was the best player available, just in general, like all the best players available after everything was said and done. So Herb Jones was cut off the 26-year-old list. Same thing with Obi Toppin, Rui Hachimura. Bennett Mathurin snubbed off the 22, or not snubbed, just based off overall. Pretty sure he is going to be higher next 2K. So if we do this next 2K, he's going to make it to the 23-year-olds. PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, Mitchell Robinson, Santi Aldama, Trey Mann, D'Lo, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Grady Dick, Kevin Huerter, Cole Anthony, Lonzo Ball. So as you guys can see, definitely a lot of good players you'd appreciate to have on your team. Just unfortunately, they couldn't make the cut. And then for the rest of the players, it's just X'd out. X-Rockets, X-Spurs, X-Suns, X-Thunder, X-Timberwolves, X-Trailblazers, X-Warriors, and X-Wizards. So these are all the players that cannot make the extra team, and obviously the other age groups. Me personally, if I had to put my money on a single team, it would hands down be the Boston Celtics. I mean, look at this team. You have the depth, you have the star power in these three over here. This team is looking good. And then a close second and third, I have the Memphis Grizzlies just because of Luka. And then obviously the Hawks with this big three here of Shea and Tatum. We're going to make our way to the trade deadline now. We're going to take a look at award races, all-star participants, NBA standings, team stats, player stats, and all those good stuff. All right, so we made it at the trade deadline. As you can see, the 19 overalls are not that good, 14 and 36. They are progressing in overall, but it just can't cut it compared to the other teams. As for standings, the 27 Heat with Devin Booker and Bam, Jaylen Brown, OG, Zubac, Jamal Murray are number 1 out east. Then you have the 26 Hawks with Shea, Austin Reeves, Hunter, Tatum, Jared Allen, Trae Young. 23 Celtics, this is the team I was predicting to be really good, and obviously, like, no kidding, they're going to be really good. Tyrese Maxey, Edwards, Franz Wagner, Evan Mobley, Double O, Kate Cunningham, and company. 31 Knicks, our first O team with AD, Norman Powell, Bradley Beal. Wow, this team is popping off. All you really need, I guess, is AD and Norman Powell. What is Norman Powell averaging? 17.7. AD, look at this, 28, 15.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2.6 blocks. 21 Bulls, Dyson Daniels, Brandon Miller, Asar Thompson, Paulo, Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson and company. 22 Cavs, Josh Giddey, Jalen Green, Jalen Johnson, Chet, Alperen Sengun, Mark Williams. 28 Hornets, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Dylan Brooks, Cat, Sabonis, Mikal Bridges. 20 Bucks, you have Anthony Black, Cason Wallace. So our first youngest group, I'm guessing it's Wembanyama. He's averaging 35.7 points, 12.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.2 steals, 2.3 blocks, 50, 40, 85. 35 Nets with James Harden, Eric Gordon, DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, Batum, and Westbrook, and Markieff Morris. A nice, 7-man rotation. James Harden's averaging 23.5 with 12 assists. Eric Gordon, 13 points. DeMar DeRozan, 25, 5.5, and 4. Jimmy Butler, 26, almost 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Batum, 7 and 9 rebounds. Westbrook, 22.3. Bring it back to prime Westbrook over here. 22.3 points, 9.5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.6 steals, half a block. Good efficiency besides the free throw. Honestly, I'm surprised to see this, and I'm happy for him. And then sneaking into the play-in, we have the extra Raptors. So all the players that couldn't make the cut, they're showing why they would. They're showing why they should and would. Look at this team over here. Now for this team, because it is like the redemption team, we made it a 15-man rotation. So So even Lonzo Ball's getting PT, even if it's what? Even if it's 4.5 minutes, he's averaging 2 points, almost 1 rebound, 1 assist. Then the 33 Magic with CJ, Chris Middleton, Kawhi, and Vooch cannot make the cut right now. 39 Pistons, obviously with LeBron James, Chris Paul, PG Tucker, and Taj Gibson, they can't really do much. Out of curiosity, LeBron James, 58.1 points, 14.7 rebounds, and 4.7 assists with 1.5 steal, 1.5 blocks. At 40 years old, he's averaging 58 points. Wow. And then Chris Paul, 20, 12 assists. PJ Tucker, 6 with 11 rebounds about. Taj Gibson, yeah, 18.5 rebounds. So it's literally just LeBron scoring for the team. Then you have your 37 Pacers here. Who was scoring for them? Mike Conley, almost 30 points, 10 rebounds. James Johnson, 16, 20 rebounds. Alex Len, nope, let's not take a look at him. Joe Ingles, 15, 13 rebounds. And then your only X'd out team here is the Wizards, who managed to get 2 wins. Wow. And then out west, 24 Clippers, Tyrese, Kobe White, RJ Zion, Jaden McDaniels, Darius Garland. 29 Jazz with Dante Exum, Zach LaVine, Kuzma, Giannis, Jokic. This monstrous Dewey here will carry you a long way. 30 Kings, you have Fred VanVleet, Derek White, Alex Caruso, Siakam, Embiid, Karis LeVert. 34 Mavericks, Lillard, Klay Thompson, PG, Jay Crowder, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday and company. 25 Grizzlies, Ja, Lou Dort, Corey Kispert, Triple J, Nas Reed, Luka. Honestly, I'm a little, I don't know how I feel that this team is the 5th seed. Good record, 35-16, but I'm a little shocked, honestly, because they have a lot of X'd out teams over here. I don't know. 32 Lakers, Kyrie, Tim Hardaway, HB, Tobias Harris, Rudy Gobert, Jonas. I want to look at what Kyrie's averaging. 27, 6 and 6, 50, 40, 90 club, amazing. 36 Nuggets, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Patty Mills, K Love, and Brooke Lopez, and DJ off the bench on a 6-man. Stephen Curry's averaging 44 points with 6.6 rebounds and almost 8 assists. 50, 40, 92 with 44 points. Patty Mills, 12 points. KD, 36.6. Kevin Love, 12 and 14. Bring him back to the Timberwolves days. Brooke Lopez, 14.5 rebounds. DJ, 8, 17 rebounds, almost 1 block. And then the worst team naturally is going to be one of the oldest, 38 Pelicans with Kyle Lowry, Josh Okogie, Garrett Temple, Jeff Green, Al Horford. Al Horford's averaging 22, a 2020 season basically. Jeff Green, 20 with 10, 11 rebounds. Garrett Temple, 21, 17 rebounds. And Kyle Lowry, 19, 9 and 7. And then your X'd out teams over here. The official best team in the entire league is the 27 Heat, currently sitting at a 42-7 record. And then to round out your top 5, you have 26, 24, 29, and 23. Team stats. Offensively, the best offenses in the league is the 29-year-old Jazz, 25 Grizzlies, 23 Celtics, 24 Clippers, and your 26 Hawks. And then as for your defense, you have your 34 Mavericks. Wow, this team may be old, but they're not letting buckets, and it makes sense. You have Klay Thompson, PG, Jay Crowder, Draymond, and Drew Holiday. Although this team is old, they are still defensive beasts. And then you have your 30 Kings, 24 Clippers, 21 Bulls, and your 25 Grizzlies. And out of curiosity, leading the league in rebounds, you have your 34 Mavericks, 25 Grizzlies, 30 Kings, 24 Clippers, and your 29 Jazz. Assists, you got 29 Jazz, 24 Clippers, 35 Nets, 26 Hawks, and your 23 Celtics. Steals, 21 Bulls, 30 Kings, extra Raptors, 34 Mavericks, and then 26 Hawks. And last but not least, blocks, 20 Bucks, 36 Nuggets, 23 Celtics, 22 Cavs, and your 29 Utah Jazz. League leaders, points. We have LeBron James with 58 points, Stephen Curry 44, Kevin Durant 36, Victor Wembanyama 35, Lillard 34. Rebounds, Al Horford, James Johnson, Joel Embiid, Trayson Jackson Davis, and Taj Gibson. Trayson Jackson Davis is 4th, despite him being a 40 overall, is insane. Assists, CP3, James Harden, Jokic, Tyrese, and John Morant. Steals, Mike Conley, Dyson Daniels, Kyle Lowry, Garrett Temple, and James Johnson. And then last but not least, blocks, Brooke Lopez, Anthony Davis, Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert, and Evan Mobley. Now for the juicy part of the league. MVPs, you have LeBron. Naturally, if you're averaging 58 points, you have to be in the MVP conversations. Then you have Stephen Curry, Embiid, Jokic, and Wembanyama. Rookie of the year, Alex Sarr, Stephon Castle, Zachary Risache, Kyle Filipowski, and Ron Holland. 6th man of the year, Westbrook. Luka's coming off the bench. I'm assuming for John Morant. That is crazy. That is really crazy. Jonas Valanciunas, Jamal Murray, and Men Thompson. So maybe that's why their record isn't as good as it's supposed to be. DPOI, Wembanyama, AD, LeBron, James Johnson, and Al Horford. And then MIP, Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Black, Trayson Jackson Davis, Jaden McDaniel, and Asar Thompson. Clutch player of the year, Wembanyama, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Paulo Banchero, and KD. So normally I wouldn't do this, but I don't know why for some reason 2K possibly has Yeah, thank you. Why would this happen? They finally realized and just made Luka start and have Ja become the shooting guard. You could honestly just even flip them to like this, and it wouldn't make a difference. We're going to simulate before the All-Star break to kind of see all the All-Star teams before we simulate to the end of the season. All-Star participants, we have out east, Shea, James Harden, LeBron, AD, Wembanyama, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Cat, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Edwards, and out west, Stephen Curry, Lillard, Jokic, KD, Embiid, Kyrie, Luka, Giannis, Zion, Al Horford, Pascal Siakam, John Morant. Crazy that despite coming off the bench, Luka's still in the All-Star game. Also, when I did make this team, I did want to say one thing in particular that I did forget. The New York Knicks have a lot of 28-year-olds. Now, obviously, some players did go up in age because of their birthdays, but you have Jalen Brunson, Cat, and Mikal Bridges all 28 for the New York Knicks in real life, which is, I don't know, that looked like a little fun fact to say. At the end of the season, LeBron James is your MVP, 58, 16, 5, 1.5 steals and block, 50, 78, and 41 from the three-pointer. Alex Sarr, Rookie of the Year, 13, 12, 3.6, 1.2 steals, and almost 2 blocks. Westbrook, 6th Man of the Year, rewinding the clock 5 years back, 22 points, almost a triple-double with, or maybe not almost a triple-double, almost a double-double with rebounds, 7 assists, 1.7 steals, half a block. DPOY, Wembanyama, 35, 13, 3.5 assists, 1.3 steals, and 2.3 blocks. Wembanyama also MIP. Wembanyama also Clutch Player of the Year, and Quinn Snyder, Coach of the Year, 69 and 13. With William Drew being Executive of the Year, same record. All NBA first, you have your 39, or currently 40 now, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Wembanyama, Jokic, Embiid. All NBA second, Al Horford makes it, Kevin Durant, AD, Giannis, James Harden. And All NBA third, Chris Paul, Luka, Mike Conley, Jimmy Butler, and Garrett Temple making an All NBA third. Wow. All defensive first, Wembanyama, LeBron, Anthony Davis, James Johnson, Rudy Gobert. All defensive second, Evan Mobley, Embiid, Giannis, Draymond Green, Al Horford. And all rookie first, Sarr, Zachary Risa, Shea Stephon Castle, Kyle Filipowski, Rob Dillingham. And all rookie second, Quinton Post, AJ Johnson, Jared McCain, Carl Carrington, and Ron Holland. Lakers, Pelicans, Spurs, Golden State, and the play-in out west and out east, Bucks, Brooklyn, Cavs, and your redemption Toronto Raptors. I kind of don't like that it doesn't say the age group because we kind of have to, like, I don't know, guess, or I don't know. We'll simulate the play-in. The XX Warriors, extra Raptors lose, the X Spurs lose, and the 22 Cavs lose. So you have your Brooklyn Nets, Bucks, Pelicans, and Lakers all advancing. We'll simulate the first round. You have your 38 Pelicans losing, 28 Hornets have been eliminated, 35 Nets have been eliminated, 31 Knicks eliminated, 36 Nuggets, 25 Grizzlies, and 20 Bucks. 32 Lakers all eliminated. Your Utah Jazz with Giannis and Jokic make it. The Clippers with Tyrese, I'm pretty sure, what is this, the 24 age group? Yeah, the 24 age group if I'm not mistaken. The Dallas Mavericks, Kings, Atlanta Hawks, Chicago Bulls, Boston Celtics, and Miami Heat. Yeah, the Hawks with Shea, Tatum, and Trae Young if I'm not mistaken. The Bulls, I don't remember who they have. The Bulls with Brandon Miller. So this is 22, right? Is this 22? I'm pretty sure this is the 22 age group over here. And then you have Boston, Miami. Boston with obviously LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Double O, and the Miami Heat. Oh wow, this is what is this? The 30? Is this the 32-year-old team with Bradley Beal, AD, Norman Powell? Good on them. Dallas Mavericks. Honestly, I don't really remember who they have either. Lillard. This is the 34 age group. Yeah, 34 age group. And then the Sacramento Kings. I'm pretty sure this is the 35 age group or 36 age group with KD and Stephen Curry. Simulate the second round. We have the Clippers advancing, the Bulls being eliminated, Kings eliminated, and the Boston Celtics advance. So we have the 34-year-olds advancing versus the 24. So 10-year difference, a decade battle over here. And then you have the youthful battle here with what, the 23 and the 26-year-olds? Yeah, 23 and 26-year-olds. Game 1 is a dub for the Hawks and the Clippers. Game 2 is a dub for the Boston Celtics. They tie it up and the Clippers are up 2-0. Game 3, Clippers up 3-0. Boston Celtics take a 2-1 lead. Game 4, the 34 Mavericks get swept by the 24 Clippers, and the Boston Celtics are up 3-1. Game 4, and the Hawks force, Game 5, and the Hawks force a Game 6. We're gonna simcast this one here because the Hawks push for a Game 7. Honestly, it's anyone's game at this point. Looks like Anthony Edwards and company are just gonna soar through though. It might be a done game over here, and the Celtics are advancing to the finals. Evan Mobley Finals MVP and Zion Williamson Finals MVP out west. It's a battle of the 24 and 23-year-olds over here. One age difference. Game 1 is a dub for the Clippers. Game 2, dub for the Celtics. Game 3, dub for the Celtics. Game 4, tie 2-2. Game 5, we're going to simcast this one over here. I'm praying for a Game 7. I would love to jump into a Game 7 here. And it's looking pretty good. Oh, the Celtics managing to come back despite the 41 points in the first quarter. Looks like like the Clippers are pulling through though for a victory of the game 5. Game 6, the Celtics are away. Can they force a game 7 back in 24 Boston or 24 Celtics? Does not seem like it's going to be the case. Looks like the 24-year-olds are going to win and be crowned the best age group in all of the league. 24 Clippers have won the NBA championship. Zion Williamson is your finals MVP. If you guys enjoyed this video, do let me know. I appreciate it. It took me, not gonna lie, like 2 hours to set up the whole like rosters and all that, so I'd really appreciate any support given. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Any support is appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces Maluses.